Alright, so welcome back, guys, and let us um, do the extra part of the fourth cycle. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to put a button here, and once we press the button, this thing is going to go forwards and backwards, and then it's going to stop. So this thing is only going to go forwards and backwards every time I press the button. So in order to do that, well, we need a button. So I'm going to give you a heads up right now from the beginning that since I am let me say this, since I'm not using a two-legged button, this thing will not work for me, but it will work for you if you use a two-legged button. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect our button. We're gonna connect it, let's say, where's our negative? Okay, so we're gonna connect it here. We're gonna make a bridge between these two things. We're going to connect pin number 2 into one side of my button, and then the other side I'm going to connect it to the negative. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a circuit from pin number 2 to the ground. Okay, so every time I press the button, I connect pin number 2 to ground. Okay, every time I press the button, I connect pin number 2 to ground. So let's go ahead and edit the code. Since now I'm going to be using pin number 2 as an input pin, I'm going to be reading what's going on in pin number 2. I need to establish that from the beginning. So pin mode number 2, set it as input. And that's it. So let's go into our loop. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be needing to declare a variable called pin state. No, let's call it button state. So but state. So but state int but state is going to be, I'm just going to declare it. I'm going to set it to 0 right here. We'll be changing this value later. Okay, so we go into our loop, and our loop is this code right here. Okay, we're going forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards, and that's pretty much it. So we need to do that once we press the button. So before we go into our two loops, we need to establish, we need to read what's going on with our button. So we're going to say but state is going to be equal to digital read what's going on in pin number 2. Okay, and that's it. Oh, first thing we need to establish that originally speaking, our button is going to be set to high. Okay, our button is going to be set to high. So what's going? Our pin number 2 is going to be set to high. So what's that mean? Is that this right now, at this point, this thing has voltage. Okay, since it's not connected to anything, it does have voltage. But the moment that you press this button, you connect this voltage source directly to ground. Therefore, what this thing is going to be reading is 0. It's no voltage, okay? Because it's putting out all of its power, it's putting it directly to ground. So in the moment that you connect this thing to ground, the voltage here will drop to 0. If you disconnect it from ground, the voltage will be set to high, or 1, okay? So that's what we're doing right here. We're setting the voltage to high originally, okay? And then we're going to be reading what's going on in that button state, in that button, right, in that pin, sorry. So we set this pin to high, and then immediately after, we read whether this thing is high or low, okay? Immediately after, we read whether this thing is high or low. It's going to be high if this button is not pressed. It's going to be low if this button is pressed. So when we press a button, we want the lights to turn on. Okay, so we're going to declare, we're going to write down right here, if my but state is equal to low, therefore my button was pressed, I'm going to do this cycle right here. Okay? Otherwise speaking, I'm not going to be doing this cycle. So what the loop here is going to be doing is going to be writing to the high and then reading the button state. If it's set to low, it's going to do this thing right here, and then it's going to return. If it's not set to low, then it's not gonna do this code, the code that is inside these brackets. Therefore, it's gonna be looping around writing 2 to high and then reading 2, writing 2 to high and then reading 2, and that's gonna be going on infinitely. So how that thing is gonna look, upload and run it. Probably it's not gonna work here because yeah, my button doesn't work, but yours should work, okay? Yours should work. Therefore, whenever you press this button, you close this circuit, and things should go like whoop and back, okay? And that is pretty much it. So 2, 1. Here, let me see if I can connect this thing. If it works like that. No, it doesn't work like that. But okay, in essence, what's gonna happen is that once you press the button, these slides should go forward and then backward and then simply stop. Okay, so that is pretty much it, guys. That is basically it for our. Let me see if this works. No, this doesn't work. That is it for our course, basically, and I'll see you. Well, today I'm making this Thursday 8:30 a.m. So I'll see you today in Disney. So please bring all of your doubts. Okay, thank you guys, and see you later. Bye.